Everyone, this is Teddy Keckstead from Forex Trading Unlocked, and we're here with the Forex Market Analysis on November the 8th for a little Friday mid-morning look at the markets. So we're going to pull up our disclaimer real quick just to remind you that this is just for illustrative purposes only. And with that, let's go and jump to our live screen and see what's going on. The Forex-Trading-Unlocked.com website. If you click on the workstation icon on the menu, it'll bring you to this page here, which will have a calendar right off the bat for you to look at when you're starting your analysis. We don't have any real numbers that we have to pay attention to anymore. Let's see. No, that's for tomorrow or for Monday. Let's see. So let's go to our chart. So here we go to our chart. We see the euro is making new lows once again, and it's been pretty much laying on the offer all day. But if you look at it, it's just kind of inching lower. It's not really much of a range today. It's only in a 30, a little over 40 pip range. So, however, it is significant that it did take out this low from a couple weeks ago. So that's going to be our pivot as far as direction for this market. So right now, this market is overall, it's been in an uptrend for the past month or over a month, but over the past week or so, it's been having trouble, and it definitely has been selling off now for the past week. So it's all red here on this chart, and it made a newer move low after getting rejected on this high right here. So this would be our big breakout level here, its previous high up here. As you can see, the market has been contained pretty much between this 111.82 down to 110.73, so basically $1. Also giving you credence to see how much volatility it's had. So it looks nice on a swing trade base here, but the actual movement for the market is actually very slight. So let's look at the GBP USD. This was leaning on support as well earlier this morning, and it has now taken out that low. Okay, so this also is making new lows. Let's move that up a little bit. Oops, let's move it down a bit. There we go. All right. So this is leaning right on this little pivot here. It's leaning on new move lows. Also a very bearish sell signal, at least in the short run. But now the market's been in a big rally since the end of August, and especially since the middle of October. Look at this radical move to the upside. So is this weakness because of Brexit or anything like that going on in the EU? It may be, but I think it's more dollar index driven. So now let's take a look at our US dollar CHF and see what's going on with the Swiss. Now the Swiss is pushing new move highs. So while the euro is hanging on the lows and the pound is hanging on the lows, the Swiss is hanging on, the US dollar Swiss is hanging on its highs. So this right now, as I said, is definitely looking like it is a dollar rally that's going on, not necessarily the weakness of these other currencies. Let's look at the US dollar Canada. I think this one has come off its highs a little bit. Maybe it's already time for profit taking. The European markets are done. Asian markets are done. The currency markets are quieting down also for the day. So it looks like some profit taking has already happened in Canada. Who knows? Maybe they're already closing their books for the day. Let's look at the US dollar JPY. So the US dollar yen had made a double top. Let's see, take out the high from yesterday. As high as 109.488, 109.477. So it fell just below, just short of the high from yesterday, but it's still hanging up there on the high. So slightly lower on the day, not much of a range. Asia's already closed down. As far as I'm concerned, it pretty much settled on the highs of the week. So very bullish for the dollar. Now the dollar index as a whole has been lower against most currencies, but the yen, it's kind of funny how when the dollar rallies, the US dollar yen goes up, and when the dollar breaks, the US dollar yen only goes down fractionally. So it's pretty much an indicator right now and a little bit of divergence in this currency versus some of the other currencies overall, because this has been obviously rallying since October. Now the Australian dollar, US dollar, had made new highs, and this currency is definitely showing some weakness today. So this is leaning on its lows, just like the other currencies are. But like I said, I think this is dollar related. I'd be very careful being an aggressive bear at this level. Could it be the beginning of a bearish turn and a bullish run for the U.S. dollar? Absolutely, it could be. But I right now think that we are just in the middle of a profit-taking rally for the dollar, meaning a profit-taking rally break for many of the currencies versus the dollar, such as the Australian dollar. Remember, it has had a nice little run up over the past month and a half. So the New Zealand dollar is also looking pretty much the same as these other currencies. It's banging new move lows. Now this one here has taken out this swing low. So this one, it looks more bearish than the Australian dollar. So, but that's why I think that this is more of a digestive phase where it's starting to look overly bearish in some markets. Like we're looking like here, we had a higher move high and now we've had a lower move low. But that doesn't necessarily mean bear market. That could just mean a time for digestion. So don't get caught selling in the hole today or on Sunday, Monday, as the markets reopen next week. So not that this is, I'm trying to tell you to buy it, but I think that right now I'd be very careful selling into it, and I would look for a reason to buy it. Look for that. As far as selling it, if the dollar index continues to rally, then well, that's a totally different story, and you'll see these currencies under pressure, and the bears obviously will be capitalizing on it. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that move is pretty much overdone. And considering all the news that's going on in the marketplace globally, I think it would be a better idea to wait for a signal for both. So if you're short, you're on the good side, and I would work it, keep your stops tight. If you're looking to buy, I would wait for a signal. And if you're trading volatility, well, that's a different story. I think that if you're trading some options, you could definitely get some volatility plays on this because I don't think that the New Zealand dollar, US dollar is going to be hovering around this price where it's at right now for the next week or so. I think we're going to get a bounce or we're going to see follow through to the downside. So we will see how that pans out next week. So let's go back to our Euro US dollar where we started today in this webinar. And as you can see, yep, these markets are on their lows. So here we are at not quite an hour. We're at 40 minutes before lunchtime in Chicago, before noon. Most of the markets globally have shut down. Things are getting quiet in the U.S. as well. And here we have the dollar just banging through the highs, pushing resistance, and the other markets are now falling on support, especially your major currencies, your euro, your pound, your Australian dollar, your yen, blah, blah, blah. So all these currencies right now are falling to the dollar strength right now that is going on in the marketplace. So there's one thing I can point out to you that is interesting. We look at the dollar index, which has been rallying, but let's look at the monthly on this. The monthly for October had given us a sell signal. Now, overall, this market's been in a rally for over a year. That's right now we're recouping a lot of the losses from last month very quickly in 1 week. However, if this is a profit-taking bounce right now, then we're looking to see this market go lower. And last month's bar was a bearish engulfing line, which is a sell signal short term. And if that's the case, I would say that the high, we'll put this little pivot line here. So this high, a breach of 99.53 up here at this area, that would be obviously a bullish indication for the dollar because it would have taken out new move highs as well as resumed the trend. It would take a lot of momentum for that to do that. I don't see dollar strength coming into the market, especially with the I wouldn't say a pausing with the Fed, but I think that they may be done for at least a couple months. And then we also have to see how things go with the other currencies as well. And if the sell signal is valid, then we'll probably see a turn next week, probably sometime between Sunday and Wednesday, and then we'll see the market starting to press support and get back down towards these lows that were set already. We'll put this on the daily. So we had a newer move low that was set on Friday of last week, and that, as you can see, this market had gone up from this high here. I can move this to where it is. There we go. There's where the pivots belong. So we made this low. We made a lower move high. We made a lower move low, lower move high, lower move low again. Now we made a higher move high. So this just means with this, after a lower move low and a higher move high in the dollar index, could be bullish. Could also mean it's just a time for a little digestion from this break that it's had recently. And then we're going to lean back down towards a challenge or a test of this 97.10 area from the lows from last week. So I'd be very mindful of the dollar index as you trade the currencies next week. And then once again, we'll look at the euro US dollar real quick. So knowing that if that is the case, then this would be we would be looking for a buying opportunity and signal to come about somewhere around between Sunday and Wednesday, and then give us a challenge of trading. Any trading above 110.73 here, I think would be a really positive indication that this market wants to make a run for higher move highs. I'm not saying this is going to be in a major bull market, even if the dollar collapses, because the range for the euro US dollar has been pretty much in a $6 range for the majority of this year. So that being said, we don't have very high expectations for a move, but a trend is a trend and there is opportunity there. So with that being said, we had talked about that high probable Japanese candlestick pattern, that bearish engulfing line on the dollar index. If you'd like to learn more about how to execute signals based off of the candlestick patterns, check out the book High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns. It's available at Amazon.com on Kindle and paperback. And always please like, follow, and share us here on Twitch. And you can always find out what's going on with us at www.forex-trading-unlocked.com.